Good evening, everyone. This is David, aka Preacher Man. I am the face of Frazier Chronicles, and today, or this evening, I'm going to be talking about something that is very crucial in our generation today, something that is very vital to our generation today, and it's something that a lot of people today don't realize they're doing, but it's happening, and it's causing their relationships and their marriages to actually end. And the question or the podcast that is being asked and now that we have right now is, why do women and men settle? Again, that question is, why do men and women settle? And the first thing before we get started, I want to ask this question. And if you're in a relationship and you settled, or maybe you're out of a relationship and you're trying to figure out where you went wrong, the question I want you to think about real quick is, before we get started again, is, did I settle for the man or woman I am currently in a relationship with, or that I was previously with? And if you said yes, the next question is, what was your reason? I'm quite sure you're probably in denial and saying you don't know. Now, when I say we're in denial, sometimes we don't want to be honest with ourselves. We want to say, oh, we just got into a relationship just to get into it. Or maybe where you're saying, well, I don't know right now if I was, currently settling at the time. I think that I was just trying to get out there and find someone. Again, sometimes we're in denial. So if you're in denial and saying you don't know or anything like that, or you're still trying to figure it out, well, this podcast is sure to help you out right now. Let's dive into it. So the first reason you probably settled is because the person you want isn't wanting you. Now, we all have at least tried or wanted to be with someone who just didn't want us back, and bam, we move on because, again, we're not able to even get an opportunity to date them. Or maybe the person you want, you had, only to realize that they had other side relationships. Now, this is very common. This is really common to make people settle. One, because a lot of people don't want to feel that they are never going to find true love or find love at all. Sometimes people find out, okay, I'm deeply in this relationship, and yeah, even though they have someone else or other relationships, I can stay in because of my self-esteem. And now we get to the settling part. Now that someone wants you because of the hurt you're going through, or the relationship is going to eventually come to an end because you don't really belong to them. You're not their number one. You end up going to someone else who might not be quite what you're looking for, but you're able to say, okay, I can settle. See how easily we settle. And sometimes we don't realize we're settling because we are not able to think. And what I mean by we're not able to think, what we want to have, we know that it has other people too. And sometimes what we want to have, we can't get. So we end up falling and going into this mindset of settling. And settling is very common in our 21st century. It's very common in the makeup of today's relationships, because, again, relationships are a lot different. So why might someone be settling? And I want to look at a list of things. As we all know that we have past hurts. That's why we settle. What we want, we don't have, or we can't have, so we settle. Another reason people settle is because of something called loneliness. Okay, they're afraid they will never find anyone who will love them back, or who will love them in a way that makes sense to them. Some people are also settling because of a broken heart. They have hurts from a past relationship, which they have never gotten over, and now they just want any and everything that wants them. So again, we're seeing where people are becoming more and more uh, on the fence of settling. And settling is a dangerous game because settling says I'm with someone that I really don't want, but I'm going to take this chance. I'm going to take this challenge anyway. And we're going to keep moving along, but that's what it says. All right. We know that, again, broken hearts. Broken heart, past relationships. Okay. Now they want everything. The next one is they know what they want, but can't have what they want. Again, I'm going to say this. They know what they want, but can't have what they want. Another reason is because of influence. They are told that they are part of the age group that is getting older and need to begin the process of settling down. So again, they settle because of influences. People around them have these bright ideas that you are getting old. If you don't find love now, you won't find love ever. Okay, so there is a settling inside of that again, and that one is more so of a fear. Sometimes we settle because we're young and immature. We just want to play house. Basically, what that means is that we're young and mature. We want to play house. We just want to do the grown people things. We want to have rings on our finger and say, hey, I'm married to someone. We want to go to the altar and be able to say, hey, I made this decision and boom, I'm happy. When in reality, you're not happy. No one who settles for anything is happy. That's like, settling for a car you really don't want or you don't desire to have, but because it's in your price range, it's in your budget, and the dealership talks you into getting this car that isn't what you want, but they gave you an idea that 6 months later you can trade this vehicle in, and that's how you treat your relationship. You say, well, I'll settle for this for right now. I'll marry this person for right now. And once something better comes along, see where we're at? Once something better comes along, I will trade that in for this. And that's how you get the relationships where people are not happy. They're married and they're miserable, or they're married and they're cheating and they're married and they're just not feeling anyone. They're always in the bed when they come home. They're always have places to go without you. They always make time for everything but you. They never seem to make holidays special, your birthday special, or anything special. Is because of the heart of settling. And that's what settling does. Settling is not a true love factor. Settling is a for right now situation to make me comfortable or make me feel like I have something great, when in reality this is not what I want. Even if it's great, it's not what I want, but I'm willing to take that risk. Another thing I see people settling is because of their lack of self-esteem. Now, when we talk about self-esteem, we're talking about people who don't have the confidence in who they are. They don't have the confidence in waiting. If you're a woman, waiting on the man, or if you're a man, finding that great woman. They don't have the confidence because they have been so bombarded with hurts and people they thought was for them not being for them, and all of these things that play a big factor in making people decide that they're going to settle for the person who is willing to take care of them, or who's willing to just come along and enjoy the ride, or maybe they're there for the ride. The next one is that I want to talk about is a big one, the financial security. Okay, longing to have help with bills, and longing to have help with their kids if they're single parents, or longing to have help with just around the house chores. Again, because their circumstance and their situation. Financial security has been one of the major reasons people settle. What they want doesn't have what they're going to settle for. So if a person maybe doesn't have the makeup of money management or financial stability that the person that they really want has, they're going to reach out to the person that comes along who has the financial resources and the financial literature and the financial stability. Because again, people all over the world are in this relationship realm of I can settle for something that makes me feel okay, not feel great, feel okay. Because when people settle, they're not looking for love at that point. They're looking more so at what can I use, what can I do to fill the void of the hurts. That's what it comes down to. That's why people can really be with people over for financial reasons, okay? Because finances make them happy. It does not make them go to bed at night happy. It doesn't make them want to sleep with that person. It doesn't make them want to create a family. It makes them want to create the safe net for the self, right? And that is in a selfish and self-centered way. The next one is also, it kind of entails to the financial security, but the social status. What they have attracted never had a social status or much worth or net worth. Okay, so now when they're settling again, it's not because of love anymore. It's nothing is considered love in the ramification of settling. It is now a social status. It is, okay, what does this person have that would make me feel like I belong, or what does this person have that I can piggyback off of and say, hey, I didn't marry you for this, but I married you for that. And again, it's a denial. As I said in the beginning, it's a denial point. It's a point where in your mind you feel that what you're going to say or why your reason for doing it is not truthfully what you are saying it is, because again, you're in denial. And people who are in denial can't come up with the truth or have truth about why they're moving into a direction. The social status plays a big part where people are like, well, hey, this person's a part of this organization or a part of this group, or maybe this person is in the industry of arts and music and the industry of entertainment. So now I can kind of feel my way around and say, hey, I'm with somebody who has a social status, so I don't have to feel like I'm out of the loop. I have a social status. I am going to be accepted by my peers. I'm going to be accepted by my friends. I'm going to be accepted by my parents. And I don't have to worry about someone coming and say, hey, that person can't take care of you. So they don't have to worry about someone basically saying, hey, you should get rid of that person. One, because they don't want to get rid of anybody. They have decided to take what is willing to accept them. Again, we have to understand they're taking what has accepted them, and what has accepted them, they do not want to lose. And in the sense of they don't want to lose it, they don't want to lose it for the time being. Now, later on down the road, they can take that loss when what they want comes back to them and eventually breaks off all the other relationships. They would definitely take it back. That's why a lot of people, when they settle and they're asked the question, would you ever leave the person you're with? They're going to, of course, say no, but in reality, they're not going to be honest with themselves. They're going to lie and say yes. The next thing that they're going to do is they're going to continuously go on the verge of saying that they are what is that? They're going to continuously say that they are okay with where they're at. They're going to continuously say those things, and when they do those things, they don't realize that they're hurting themselves more instead of helping themselves more. When people are who exert hurts, and they're used to hurts and are used to those things, they most likely stay in those things for a specific time. Sometimes they stay in there forever. Sometimes they stay in there for 6 months. Sometimes they realize after 6 years or 10 years after playing enough around and not caring about themselves that they make these decisions to move on. And now they go from settling to now I just don't want anything. The next one is because people have so many kids and feel so overwhelmed that they can't find true love. Now, this is for the individual who has kids galore. And I mean, when I say kids galore, maybe multiple baby daddies, multiple baby mamas, multiple kids with multiple different people. These are people who are just settling because they want someone to now take care of the kids. They're not looking for love. They're looking for someone to come in and help with the kid and do the things that someone hasn't done for them, or maybe they feel like they've lost out on life, so now they're trying to put the piece of the puzzles back together. Maybe that's what they're doing. So all of that right there entails people are not really looking for love when they're settling. They're looking for a a reason on why they're doing what they're doing. When people settle, they don't make a decision that, okay, I'm loving somebody. Love and settling are two different things. You can never love someone you settle for. And I will say this because you're never in love in the beginning. You're forcing yourself to do something you really truly don't want to do. And when that happens, we have to understand and we have to be honest with ourselves that the people we're with and the people that we're going to be with sometimes isn't the one for us. And we have to continuously, day by day, night by night, continuously go through this and understand that this is where we're at. We're in a settling mentality. And when you settle, you cannot come out of it because now you're so deep, again, you're so deep into this that you cannot come out just so easily. You have to find the next person before you can move on. And that's what people who settle do. Those are the things that they do. They find the next thing going so that they can finally settle because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to be on their own. They don't want the hurts to creep up on them. They don't want to deal with the hurts. So they settle with someone and they take all this baggage of hurt and they take all these financial insecurities with them. They take all this relationship insecurities with them and they're in a position to settle. They don't have to care about you. They will never care about you. They will continuously treat you wrong. They will do you wrong as long as you allow it. And I think that when we look at settling, we as a generation and as a people, we need to take a step back, deal with our hurts, deal with our past relationships. If there's a relationship we're in, don't get into a new one until you actually get your mind and your heart and your soul right, because when you jump into a settling relationship, it's basically what the word says, settling. You're not in love. You're just there, and when you're just there, you're always going to feel like you're behind the eight ball because again, you're just there. You're not out, really mingling. You're just there and you're just trying to make yourself happy. So whatever makes you happy, you're going to do. If you need let's say you just need a feel good moment, you're going to do whatever you got to do to have a feel good moment. It's not about the other person. It's always about you. And when it's always about you and you're in that settling relationship, you're never going to find happiness or true happiness. Yeah, you might be happy for a minute. You might be happy for a little while. You might be happy for a day. You might be happy for a month. But really that settlement is going to go down because you're always going to revert back and your mind is always going to revert back to what you really wanted and what you had at one point that you're going to try to figure out why didn't this work out to the point you're going to end up going back. And that's why I say eventually they go back or they go forward to the next thing because again, they can't be by themselves. So how do we get out of this settlement mentality? Well, look forward to part 2. It's going to be why do women and men settle, but how do I get out of it? And I think that's a great idea to have everyone come into the room, understand the settling part of a relationship. Why do people settle? Why we settle? And then let's find out why we settle more in part 2 and go from there. So again, we want to go ahead and end part 1 with saying we want to thank you guys for listening, supporting Frazier Chronicles, and we want you and hope that you will move on to part 2 and look at part 2 of why do men and women settle, but how do we get out of it? So part 2 will be up shortly in the coming days. So just make sure to keep looking out, continuously supporting and listening to Frazier Chronicles as it's going to go deeper and deeper, more and more into the future.